Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of equations for parallel lines. This is standard A.2E in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 28 of the 2024 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. All right, so we've got this graph that shows two different points, W and line P, and we have an equation that we need to find here, so I'm just going to leave it scrolled like this so we can see this. There's actually a lot of information given us in this question here. So what do we need to know? Well, we need to find an equation in point-slope form, so we can use our reference materials to figure that out. It's going to pass through point W, and it's going to be parallel to line P. Now we need to know what parallel means. And so parallel is a line that never intersects with another line. So it's going to look something like this. Now, what I drew was not a perfectly straight line, so we can't necessarily use any points from that to identify the slope of line W. That was just my best recollection. But let's start with this point slope form. We can at least figure that out. If we look at our reference materials, it's going to be down here, linear equation. And you see right there at the very bottom of the screen, I've got y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. All right, now there's nothing on here about parallel, so we have to know that coming into the test. But this is our point slope form, so it's going to end up looking something like this. As you can tell, all of our answer selections do look something like that. And honestly, they all have a -5 and a -1. So that's constant in all of those. The difference is this number. That number changes. So in this point slope form, there's one thing that we need to know, and that is, what is our slope? Well, like I said, we can't use my drawing because it wasn't perfect. That we get our slope actually from this clue right here. It's parallel to line P. And what we need to know is that parallel lines have identical slopes because they have the same rise over run. They are never going to intersect. So if we can find the slope of this line P, and they have given us 2 points here, the slope of line P is going to equal the slope of line W. Slope of line P is going to be equal or congruent to slope of line W. So let's figure out what line P is. So that's going to be, this point is 5, 6, right? And this is -5, -2. And we can actually use a different formula here if we wanted to. Let's see. Let's use our reference materials here. And slope of line is that at the very bottom there, right? The m equals change in y over change in x. So we can use that to find our slope. And so let's just label this x1 and y1, and let's label this x2 and y2. It'd be fine if you swapped it, as long as your x2 is with your y2 and your x1 is with your y1. So y2 is -2 minus my y1 is 6, and x2 is -5 minus my x1 is 5. So I've got -8 over and -10. So that's going to be positive 4/5, which makes sense, right? Because it is positive, it's moving up. So it goes up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. So that's my slope there. So I can say, for my point slope form, let's bring it over here, y minus my y1 is going to be 5 equals my slope 4/5, x minus what is my x? 1. So my answer here is B.